Coming up next, John Fisher from New York. Well, you may have been considering becoming an Advocate Capital client, and so to help you with that decision, I've asked one of our clients to join us today, and his name is John Fisher. John, welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks so much for being our customer, first of all, and for taking time out of your day to speak with us. We really appreciate it. So if a lawyer has been speaking maybe with one of our folks here and they're thinking about becoming a client, but they have some concerns, for example, they might be concerned that their clients would object to the pass-through of borrowing costs due to the cases. Could you share with us what your experience has been on that?
My experience has been, number one, your company has done a great job sort of preparing a form letter that helps explain the process, what each cost is, so there's full disclosure to the client. There's nothing that's hidden from them. My advice and what I do with our clients is complete transparency. I don't hold back anything.
Right.
I tell them, here's the fees, here's how it works. I took the form letter, I sort of supplemented it, and ultimately at the end of the day, I leave it up to them. I don't force anything on them. I don't tell them they have to do it or else. I give them the option of using your company to advance the expenses or not. But either way, I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah.
And in my practice, over the time that I've worked with you over the last 2 years, there's only been a single client who said no. And in fact, I think that they changed their mind and sort of came around. You know, recently, Michael, I had a case that ended up in a mistrial. I spent close to $50,000 with different medical experts and all the enormous fees of a catastrophic medical malpractice case. And that was one client who had said no to the borrowing. And so when I went back to him, I said, you know, it's okay, and we can keep things as is, but I just want you to know, to get to trial again, it's going to cost another $50,000 out of my pocket. And they said, we completely understand. They finally agreed. We'll agree to have the case expenses advanced by Advocate Capital, and it really helped. It helped tremendously.
Wow, that's awesome. So another concern we hear, we kind of call it the most important question, John, which is, how will this impact my client? Because ultimately, plaintiff lawyers like you are about helping people, and they don't want to do something to the case that's going to hurt the client. So what would you say if someone's concerned that adding borrowing costs to the case is negative for the client?
The way that I explain it is that as a plaintiff's law firm, there is a finite amount of money that we have to invest in the case.
Right.
The insurance bar and the doctors who I battle with, they don't have a finite amount of money. They have unlimited resources and funds to fight the battle.
Yes.
And they're going to throw everything that they've got at you.
Yep.
And unless we're prepared to spend top dollar for the premier experts in the country, then our client isn't going to get justice.
Yes.
So in my mind, and what I explain to clients is, look, it's not a problem for me financially funding your case, but you have to understand, yours is not the only case that I have.
Right.
Right now I have 19 active cases. The lowest expenses that I would have on a case is about 15 to 20,000, with a high end of about 150, sometimes as high as 200,000.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're dealing with those kind of numbers and 19 active cases, that gets really expensive quick. And what it does is it gives, in terms of the benefit to the client, is it gives us the ability to match penny for penny what the defense and insurance industry is going to throw at them, so that our experts are not just the equal of the defense experts, but better.
Absolutely, and that's the story we hear over and over again from our clients around the country. Well, most law firms that are plaintiff law firms advance those expenses by themselves, on their own, not because they have to or it's legally required. It's just inertia. It's what they've always been doing. And so one of the comments we hear from potential clients sometimes is, well, I don't need the money. I'm already funding my own cases. Why would I use you? What would you say to a friend who was thinking about being our client, but they said, I don't need the money?
Well, I would tell them exactly what you wrote in your book, which is, if you had a sort of a huge basket of cash, would you just take that cash, let's say it's $100,000, put it under your bed and leave it there for 3 years with zero interest? That doesn't make any sense, but
Right.
That's what trial lawyers do when they fund their case expenses with their own money, is they're making an interest-free loan to their clients. So really, that's crazy. From an investment point of view, it makes no sense. But what if, instead of taking that $100,000 and putting it under a bed, we could invest the money on our own and get a good, decent return on investment while having Advocate Capital handle all the case expenses for our cases. I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So what it does, it really is a very smart investment choice. And I think the problem that lawyers have with this is they don't know people who do it. They've never done it. It's an alien concept to them. But once they see the logic of doing it this way, it makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. I mean, like you say, John, I'm a business owner, you're a business owner. We don't have a printing press in the basement that prints cash. I mean, we have to look at the checkbook when it's time to write a check. And with even 19 cases in-house at one time, if you want to hire experts on every one of them today, you have to have the cash in the checkbook. So it's not so much needing the money, it's having access to it so you can push forward hard and aggressively on those cases. Well, John, I really appreciate you being a client. Thank you for the work you do for your clients and in your community. We're honored to be part of that. And especially thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.